Alright guys, so today I'm bringing you total stealth over the fence, which is one of the most difficult missions in the game. Especially if you're new at Metal Gear Solid 5, you are going to retry this mission many times because unlike most other missions in the game, in this one, it's total stealth. And that means you cannot trigger an alarm because it's game over. You can't just continue and try to hide, it's game over. And there are soldiers everywhere in this mission. It's one of the reasons why it's one of my favorite missions to speedrun. But I don't speedrun in the way that most other speedrunners in places like speedrun.com are speedrunning. Because they're focused on speedrunning with bugs and glitches. And while I do enjoy watching that, because it's a lot of fun to watch how creative people get with that, still, my speedruns, I prefer them to be within the rules of the game, right? So no bugs, no glitches, but I do use exploits. And I will explain the difference between exploits and bugs and glitches. There's one exploit that happens at the very end of this run. First, watch the run. Once the run is done, I will replay the run in the video with my commentary on what's happening and where you should be doing certain things and where you can't do certain things. So my rules, because this is a huge community of MGS5 players where people are always coming up with speedrun rules and requirements of their own. And it's very fun because this way we get to see how people play the game, which is very different. Every single player that I see playing this game and doing runs at high level with really cool stealth and with technical skills. For example, you need to know how to Dolphin Dive to be able to play this mission. You can't use any mods. You're allowed to use skins. This is the PC Steam version that I'm playing, and I do use some skins. As you can see, Snake here is the actual big boss. I'm not using Venom. It's only a skin, obviously, but he has both arms, he has no horn, and it's just big boss right there. So, you are allowed to use skins, but not mods. You can't use any guns, you can't use any vehicles or buddies. And this has to be done during the day. So your mission has to start at 0600. Because it's no fun to stealth at night. The idea is to make this is the legend Snake. So if you're doing stealth, you're going to be doing stealth the right way. During the day, where you can easily be spotted. And that's pretty much it. You are allowed to use the wormhole and the magazine. That's the only weapon, which isn't really a weapon. It's more like the equivalent of a rock or a brick in other stealth games. So you're allowed to use the magazine and you're allowed to use the wormhole to Fulton any prisoners that are required during the mission, or to Fulton yourself, which is one of the most important parts of this particular run.
Sniper. Stay low and crawl along the ground. That should enable you to sneak past enemies.
Arrived at Mother Base.
Amazing. Mission complete. That right there is why you're the best, boss. The one and only.
Enemy presence detected.
First things first, this is a deployment. This is a mission where I'm starting from the checkpoint. I wanted to do the full run with this, but I'm starting from the checkpoint because this one came out so well. It's basically the same as if you're starting from the very beginning. It's just a couple of steps away from where you start. So this dolphin dives I'm doing right now, you don't need to do those dolphin dives. I found a better way to just run certain areas here and then start crouching. Here I'm going to explain what's happening. The guard, as soon as I see the guard is turning, I can run and start running up here. But when I get very close, I will stop running, I'll crouch. Here's the part where you have to dolphin dive from beginning to end. If I didn't dolphin dive there properly, the guard would have caught me. And on the right side, there's a truck full of soldiers that is going to catch you as well if you're not dolphin diving all the way there. So once you get there, you're pretty much done with one of the hardest parts of the mission, which is the dolphin dive section. Here, all you have to do is wait until he turns around, and you can actually crawl all the way past him. There's one thing that is very important here. If there's another soldier walking past, you have to wait until he passes. But if you get here fast enough, that soldier is already not going to be patrolling that area. So once we get past this soldier and the one that could potentially see you, you will get to a point where you're going to be exposed to the light and you may be glanced at by one of those soldiers. But it's okay because they're not going to raise alarms. It's just a glance. It could, to them, it could be another soldier, but you're in a location and you're acting in a way that doesn't seem right. So they're somewhat interested in what's happening, but they are still not raising an alarm. So once we get to this part inside, it's very important that you throw the magazine right where I'm throwing it. This is the reason why I enhanced the brightness in this area, because it's very dark. You have to pretty much follow what I'm doing here to make sure you don't get caught. But if you take a look at what happens, slamming the door is important. You need to slam the door here because once you get to slam the door, you're going to alert the soldiers, and then the Fulton wormhole makes a sound that the soldiers are also going to be alerted where they hear it. And that gives you time to throw another magazine and make sure they do not come in the room. It's better if you take this exit by crawling. Do not attempt dolphin diving or running because you're going to make a hell of a lot of noise. All right, so from here on is the one part where I Fulton out. I get to the cargo, and there's one thing that happens here that is the exploit, if you could call it that. What is happening is I use the wormhole Fulton to extract myself via the container, right? Which, as you know, is instantaneous. But just as I was getting pulled out, a soldier actually spotted me. So let me explain. In total stealth, the mission only fails if a combat alert is confirmed while Snake is still present. Since I was already gone, the game let the mission continue, and the confirmation of the alert takes roughly 1.5 seconds. And I was out of the map as soon as the alert hit, so I was able to beat that 1.5 second time frame. So if you take a look, you can see that there's a point penalty in the S-rank results screen because there was a combat alert. So if you take a look at the results, I did get the S-rank, but the game still did penalize the alert. There is a combat alert. It says right there, one combat alert. And what that was is the one that the game registered, but I was out of the map before it could actually go into the mission failed screen. So that makes it a very technical and very tight situation. In this particular case is very specific because there's no way you would see this screen with an alert if you fail the mission. You're going to see a mission fail screen. You're not going to see a results screen. So this is the only instance where you would ever see an alert in the over the fence total stealth game. All right, guys, so that's it for this one. Remember to subscribe if you like the content, and I will see you in the next one.